You're John. You knew what I was going to say. Jack, you're Jack. All right. You are here.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a few observations. One is that the future is here right now. I'm currently getting my electricity from entirely renewable sources, and I'm paying about 6 cents a kilowatt hour. I'm not going to plug that company tonight. Anybody here that wants to send me an email, I'd be happy to supply it. But I had been paying substantially more with NICEX solutions. And so for those folks that believe that it's not feasible that energy can be produced in a renewable way, I think they're mistaken. The other thing is, I think that there's an ideological difference between us that we need to start really having these kind of conversations about. One side of the ideological fence talks about the continuation of an oil and gas subsidy environment, a huge structure. The largest contributors to campaigns in this country come from the oil and gas lobbies. They don't come from renewable energy. So we have those that continue to support that externality that we all pay for because those subsidies come from our tax dollars, as opposed to those that are proposing to have a new regime of energy, including the envisionment that our own governor is now saying. So we have a direct difference of opinion ideologically on where we believe we're going. And I think that also includes those folks on the oil and gas side of subsidies look at a sort of a denial of what's happening in our culture, that we are going through climate change, that this is a natural cycle, that it's gone back 600,000 years. Al Gore came up with the ice samples from Greenland and other drillings that indicated that is not the case, that this is happening. And we are all, many of us are still convinced that we can have it all, that we can continue to grow with this opportunity that we've had with fossil fuels to the extent that it endangers us now. That isn't acknowledged. And I think that's another externality that we need to face with the opening of a plant that is not in recognition of the reality that we all face. And I'd also like to make the observation personally. I was driving home one day, not too long ago, June 9th of this year, and I heard a huge roar. And I couldn't figure out exactly where it was coming from, so I went in the direction of it. And up by the Empire pipeline, there was a blowdown occurring that went on for over an hour, and it was injecting, and it had the sound of the jet engines. I was a Navy pilot, so I'm familiar with what jet engines sound like. It had the sound of 2 jet engines going off, and it went on for over an hour as this company that was servicing a valve up on Baker Road, for those of you who are from Yates County know exactly where that is, and they were injecting raw methane into the atmosphere. They weren't burning it off. So I went up with a tape recorder and I asked the foreman there, why are you doing this? His answer astounded me. He said, the reason we're doing this is when we flame it off, it alerts everybody in the area to what's happening. I said, you mean the sounds don't alert? So I went down to the emergency management people here in Penn and asked them if they'd been notified about this. Well, they had, but they had their own emergency that very same day with a gas supply system in the village of Penn. So these things that we hear about before things are put into place are always in the realm of the ideal. The reality is much different. The other observation I'd like to make is on the division of corporate control here. we've got 3 separate corporate entities that are involved in this project. One is Atlas Holdings, and how many people have gone on the web to research Atlas Holdings? I encourage all of you to do this because follow the money. These folks are, as somebody previously mentioned, are buying up these companies that are failing. Well, there's a reason that companies fail. And no one's addressing that. Why are all these companies failing? There's something inherently wrong. It's like the banks on Wall Street failed. And what do? We bail them out. Now, I think what we're doing here is that we're bailing out a failing paradigm of energy production by not looking at the causative factors deeply enough as to who's benefiting. Connecticut people, these 2 wonderkins that head up Atlas Holdings, are benefiting by our lack of investing in locally generated energy that returns into our economy, generating $5 on every dollar that gets invested here. The other entities involved, Greenwich. Liability is distributed across this whole realm of 3 entities so that we as citizens don't have an opportunity to hold them accountable. That's the way it works in America today. The local sovereignty of citizens is no longer available to us. We go up against a corporation in a courtroom as one citizen, and they bring in a corporate citizen. I remember Mr. Romney pointing out to somebody in the audience when he said the corporation is a citizen. No, let's recognize, yes, corporations are citizens. They go into the courtroom with megabucks, and we go into a courtroom with grassroots organizations. Yeah, just one more quick point. Several years ago, the Lockwood ash disposal area up here on the top of the outlet was classified as a Class C hazardous waste dump. It's never been cleaned up. What I don't understand is if this generation plant down here is so clean, why do they need to continue through a 3rd subsidized corporation a dump for ash or baghouse ash or whatever particulate matter? Particulate matter has to go somewhere, regardless of how sophisticated the cleanup baghouse is. It either goes in the air, goes in the earth, or in the water. So you either transport it to a hazardous waste facility, you put it in the air, as one of the previous speakers, the fine particulate matter coming out of this plant is a deadly aid to health. My time is up, and I thank you very much.